Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, guys. So I found this. I don't know if this is an article. It is from Scientologyparent.com. And the article is 14 years old. And I just thought this would be interesting to you guys. And even though I'm against auditing children, I'm going to try not to be cruel. But when it does come to the asking sexual questions and that, how could you possibly think that that's okay? Scientology parent, raising children in a Scientology family. Interview with a Scientologist specializing in auditing children by Thaddeus Reeves, 14 years ago. I get a bad vibe from that picture. Okay, I'm going to read this to you guys on my tablets, so everything's so enthusiastic. I got a chance to ask some questions of Scientology auditor Jesse Rindale, a fellow Maine native and a specialist in the auditing of children. See this video for a visual description of what auditing is and how it works. He works for Mace Kingsley Family Center, a facility. Oh, they're not calling it a school. How weird, huh? A facility with over 30 years of experience applying Scientology to children. I mean, just the wording. Applying Scientology to children like they're lambs or something. And the betterment of families and relationships. Scientology parent, from a parent's perspective, what gains do you have seen children getting from auditing? Also, I want to be sarcastic here, and I'm going to try not to be too harsh, but, can always try. If children are adults in small bodies, why do they need parents? It's a rhetorical question. Jesse, having audited hundreds of children, including my own, I have seen all sorts of wins and gains. Because 5-year-olds need wins and gains, right? They vary from kid to kid, but generally what we see happening with a child over the course of their introductory auditing is an increase in their ability to control their environment and think for themselves. Did you guys all hear that? Auditing helps children think for themselves, not control their thinking. In other words, we get a big resurgence in their self-determinism. Oh, you mean children can self-determine in Scientology? Because everything that I see is complete opposite. This oftentimes immediately handles underlying factors that contribute to what some parents may think of as behavior problems. Do you believe this stuff, guys? Not allowing children to be children. You see, as an auditor, I am in no way focused on a child's aberrations and odd behaviors. Because, children shouldn't be crying or anything like that, or acting out, getting upset because they're locked in a room. That's psychiatry. In Scientology, the accent is on ability. When you increase a child's native abilities, the rest just falls into place. Scientology parent. What do you like most about auditing children? Honestly, you guys, that just gives me like creep vibes 100%. Creep effing vibes. Jesse, auditing children on a routine basis when they are young brings them to the understanding for themselves that they can better themselves. Really? I guess they better themselves while they're scrubbing floors. Or maybe they're in the child RPF. Maybe they're bettering themselves in there, huh? And that Scientology works for them personally and can help them. That's always the hook, isn't it? The hook is always that Scientology is helping people. Well, and all the methodologies that L. Ron Hubbard developed, he took from other places, other teachers. Scientology parent, you have an auditing room specifically designed for children. Tell me about that. What special features does it have that you've found useful? I was trying to maximize it. Adults in small bodies, you guys, remember? But they sure are treating them like children here. The whole idea behind this room was to create a space that small children can easily confront, as well as making everything in the room accessible to them. That makes me really sad, you guys. Because children at this young age, this room is for very small children. They're meant to be playing. They're meant to be discovering new things, while their brain is developing. Over the years, I've observed that auditing a child in an adult-sized room can be very unreal to them. Well, no kidding. And it made my job as an auditor a bit more challenging. Did you ever stop and think maybe children should not be audited? This is a very special auditing room in that kids want to spend as much time in it as they can. Do they now? What would make you think that? Inquiring minds want to know. Since almost every auditing process that LRH designed for children is an objective type process, meaning one that deals with the person's communication with the physical environment around them, as opposed to a subjective process where the person inspects thoughts, concepts, or mental pictures. Having a space that is interesting and playful enough to capture their attention and willingness to participate seemed logical. Everything in the room is child-sized, and the chair used to deliver Scientology assists. What about the children are not allowed to leave, right? I've heard that I don't know if they actually lock their hands down, but they will what do you call it? Like chain them or something to the table, or they won't allow the child to leave. Why don't they have that in the picture? Child sessions are lively, playful, and fun. Are they? Well, according to all the auditing questions that I was reading the other day, sometimes called the murder routine, those really didn't sound fun to me. Child sessions are lively, playful, and fun because as a child auditor, I have to communicate at their reality or I lose their interest and willingness. No kidding. Maybe because they're a child and you're putting them in a very uncomfortable, non-child setting. I'm sure you're filled with cute stories from auditing little kids. Have one you'd like to share? Everybody's just all in on this. They're just loving this stuff. Sick to me. Jesse, there was one little girl I audited. Isn't that wonderful, you guys? Putting that 3 or 4-year-old girl with a complete stranger, a man, to be audited. Isn't that just fantastic? There was one little girl I audited who was about 3 or 4 years old, whose parents had traveled from out of the country. Oh, no kidding. They came from out of the country once again. INS, anyone? INS, immigration? Whose parents had traveled from out of the country to receive auditing at the church here in Clearwater, the college, you mean. Unfortunately, their little girl had arrived sick. No kidding, you guys. Isn't that wonderful? With a temperature, and so the parents were stuck in their hotel room tending to a sick child rather than going in session themselves. So are you trying to tell me that it would have been better for the children or for the parents to go into session rather than to tend to their sickly little girl? Oh, I can't wait. I can't help it, you guys. I just can't. And this is all public records, so I can read this. I had already established grade ARC with this little girl, and she was asking for me. She probably was asking for him because she's been separated from her parents, and she doesn't have anything to grasp to, otherwise known as child abuse. The parents called Mace Kingsley and requested that I come over to the hotel at Flag. Yeah, you guys remember Flag, where certain executives keep saying there's no children? As they were having a difficult time handling her. Difficult time handling her. Oh, this is sickening. I went over to their room. We played for a few minutes. And then I ran a few basic Scientology assist processes with her. Listen to the insanity here. She pooped right out of whatever illness that had turned on, got up and said, "Jesse, look what I can do," and started to show me her cartwheels around the room. That was a good spot to end the session. I can't help but wonder if she had a bowel movement because she was nervous and upset, possibly. Or maybe she got sick because she'd been separated from her parents. I don't exactly know what was going on there, but it seemed like the girl was traveling before the parents. I don't know. That's always good, always safe. Trafficking anyone? I had already established grade ARC with this little girl, and she was asking for me. The parents, I don't know why they always have to repeat stuff. The parents called Mace Kingsley and requested that I come over to the hotel. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry, you guys. I actually read that. That's my bag. She came to Mace Kingsley for several more sessions that day, and as a result, the parents got to go into session as well. I could tell scores of stories like this. Do you guys like the mental illness is real? So the little girl pooped and now she's not sick anymore. I get it. I understand what you're saying. But that's a success? I wonder if the little girl got better because her parents were tending to her in the hotel. I mean, maybe he means well. I don't know. This is all so unnatural. Scientology parent, how have you been able to apply your skills as an auditor of children to your role as a parent? My question is, too, how do people become child auditors? Inquiring minds want to know. My older son is 4 and my youngest son is 6 months old. There's literally no end to the applicability of this tech. Isn't that frickin' fantastic, guys? Nothing a 6-month-old needs more than LRH tech. And his 4-year-old. LRH wrote and lectured extensively on the subject of raising children. Isn't that interesting? Because LRH didn't really raise his children, from what I've found so far. As a child auditor at Mace Kingsley Family Center, I have been required to become well-versed in this data. Whether I'm in session with a PC or at home with my own 2 kids, the same principles apply. What principles are those? Oh, here we go. When you observe children, you can see that they are beaming with energy, creativity, and imagination, but they are also very close to their banks in the sense that they can become keyed in easily. Their reach can get cut, and adult world can be quite mysterious from their viewpoint. No shit. Because maybe you've put these children into an abnormal environment, and as most children will do, they want to please the adults. They don't understand how abnormal it is, how unhealthy it is. I mean, this guy seems very motivated, and I mean, it's crazy to me. Oftentimes, my 4-year-old will ask me lots of questions. I always try to get him to think about what the answer would be. Why would you that makes sense. For him, rather than presenting myself as an authority and the source of all answers. For example, Dad, why can't I play in the street? Response, with no invalidation. Why do you think it's not okay to play in the streets? Can you imagine a 4-year-old being talked to like that? His answer, slight pause while he ponders this, because the child doesn't know. Because a big car could go fast and squish me, and that would hurt me. Okay, sounds good, Hayden. I mean, listen to this. The end result to this is that he has now come up with his own answer. Not like he had a choice, did he? Did he have a choice? It doesn't sound like he had any kind of choice in it. This is why you get the mind-controlled robots at about 8 years old. It's so sad. The end result to this is that he has now come up with his own answer and established a new rule for himself. I didn't have to do a thing. He got it on his own. You guys wonder why there's so many really serious accidents that go on in Scientology with the children? It's vital to keep my auditor's code in, especially when it comes to invalidation and evaluation. Children need to know that they are valuable and that their thoughts and ideas are valid and even helpful. Well, I like the way that sounds. So audit them? Take away all their free-thinking ideas? Being an auditor who has also been hatted to specialize in child auditing has made my job as a parent that much easier. I can see the products of raising my kids with Scientology, and I get a lot of pleasure watching the tech work and seeing them make gains with it. This is my opinion. And I really do want to be kind of nasty, but I'm gonna temper myself. Okay, so if a person believes in something enough, I mean, we all do this. If you believe in something, you are going to make everything turn out to validate and strengthen your ideas and theories. I mean, I honestly cannot believe that all these parents would be okay with this. I don't even really think all of them are like super abusive. I don't. I wonder, do they know that the children are being asked all these sexual questions? Or are they, I don't know what to say, but I just really wish more of them would just wake up and say, this is not good for my children. Come on, you guys. So I will put the link of the article in the description box. Have a good day, everyone. Peace.